What's up, everybody? You were tuned in to the Cris
Emma.
podcast, episode 105, Big Energy Monday. Hope everybody's having a good Monday, whether you're at work, you're at home, whatever you're doing today. Hope you're having a good day. We got a lot of things to talk about, especially NFL, college. A few other things have come out that has to do with the NFL. There's some big news that we're going to talk about. So, without further ado, good people, let's get to it. And we are back, Cris Lamar podcast, episode 105, Big Energy Monday. Maul, what is going on?
Not much, bro. Another great week of football, man. Pretty exciting week. Excited to see the game tonight. I'm a little disappointed in my team, but overall feeling good, man. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, man. It was a good Sunday, man.
Very
I
good.
was working. I wasn't watching football or nothing. I was
Right.
working, but
Wink, wink.
it was good.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Right.
some good games,
Yeah.
What I heard is what I heard. What I heard. A lot of good games.
A lot of good games. Yeah.
Just because I'm able to talk about them, don't mean I watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, all right, man. Let's talk about the week one NFL recap, man.
Yeah.
A lot of craziness went on yesterday, man. So,
Mhm.
especially the early morning games. It was a good slate of games in the early morning for sure.
It was.
But we'll go ahead and we'll start with Thursday. That was the opening night.
hmm
We haven't spoke since that game. I mean, we've
Yeah.
spoke off camera, but we haven't spoke on the pod.
Yeah.
Since those, the Thursday game and the Friday game went on. So
hmm
Thursday, of course, my Chiefs opening night. We played against the Ravens.
hmm
Um, it was a crazy game. You know what
It
I'm
was.
saying? Came down to the wire. Came down to a toe.
Yeah.
But in between that, I thought Mahomes, he looked pretty good. He looked like he was in pretty good form.
hmm
Kelsey, you know what I'm saying? They didn't really rev him up in this game. You know what I'm saying? They looked like they was trying to get Rice involved. They got, Xavier Worthy more, a little bit involved
Yeah.
with the gadget stuff. And that's what he was brought in here for, was
Mhm.
to do more of the jet sweeps and, use him in the deep routes. They're not trying to pile him up, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
with all kinds of complicated route schemes and stuff. I think that comes later on down the line. They
Mhm.
just want to get him comfortable. It's his first game in Arrowhead, you know what I'm saying? Let's get you stuff that you comfortable with. Boom. Hit you with this end around real quick. Here, use you as a decoy on deep shots because he was opening up the middle of the field for
Yeah.
Rasheed Rice and Travis Kelsey and Justin
Mhm.
Watson and Noah Gray. So that was his job. Pacheco, it wasn't nothing spectacular on the ground, but Pacheco's Pacheco. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna give you the tough, hard yards and
Yeah.
make it hard for the defense to bring him down.
Mhm.
As far as the defense went, I thought the defense played pretty well. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Our defensive line, man, that damn Lamar Jackson. If he was a regular stationary target, Chris Jones would have at least about 3 or 4 sacks.
Yeah.
And maybe, a couple of other guys, George Karlaftis and Turk Warden, they might have had a couple of sacks themselves, but man, that damn Lamar Jackson just escaped the pocket, man. It
hmm
was like, damn.
Yeah.
As far as Baltimore goes, man, and I said this, man, look, this ain't no slight on Derrick Henry. And look, this can change up if they get Keaton Mitchell back,
Mhm.
the speedy running back that they had last year that was killing
Yeah,
it last year.
yeah,
But for right now, I just feel like when Derrick Henry is in the game, it's kind of like you already know where he's gonna run. He's not because Derrick has never been a dynamic runner. He's 6'2", he's 250, and he can just run you over, and that's fine. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? That's what makes him great. But this stage of his career, he's not getting any faster.
yeah,
He's only going to get slower.
mhm,
So it was kind of like when he would run the football, the Chiefs would kind of like pick it up. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really like killing it 3, 4 yards, 4 or 5 yards a clip or nothing
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
So it just got one dimensional, and so it got to a point where the Chiefs was just kind of like, well, when he's in the game, we already know where it is, especially if it's 3rd and 3. We know
yeah,
who's getting the ball. Now, it helped a little bit with Lamar Jackson with the RPO. He could take it and pull it and run the other way. He got us a few times on that, but there's only so many times you could do that. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? So now if they get Keith Mitchell back and put them both in the backfield, all three in the backfield, him, Lamar, and Mitchell on both sides, split back sets, that might be scary right there
yeah,
because now you don't know where it's gonna go. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
mhm,
But as of right now, and then I just felt like Lamar was just holding the ball way too long. It was
mhm,
so many times when that middle of the field, like he finally caught on at the end when he just had to. But it
mhm,
was just so he was just holding it and holding it and holding it. And there was time where guys were open and he was just holding the football like he just didn't trust he can get it there or something. It was just
mhm,
like, what are you doing, Lamar? Like, like
yeah,
the lane is open, dog. Run. You trying to win, or are you trying to outdo Mahomes and show that you can throw, man? You need to try to win.
mhm,
So I think Baltimore will be fine. Their defense is their defense. They're always going to have a really good defense. You know what I'm saying? I know people talk about Roquan Smith, but what do you expect? He's guarding a receiver. A lot of times, Spags put him on a receiver,
yeah,
and he had to guard that. Like
mhm,
that's hard for any linebacker. I don't care how fast or whatever good you are. There's
yeah,
only so many. Maybe Fred Warner is the only one that probably can possibly keep up with a wide receiver. And
right,
even that, you don't want that. So
mhm,
I thought their defense was still good. I think especially after seeing what I saw yesterday, I think Baltimore will be just fine.
mhm.
So what were your thoughts on the game?
Look, man, Mahomes is Mahomes, bro. Like, he did a couple things where it seemed like he was gonna get sacked, and it's kind of crazy to me. Like this, I mean this with no disrespect, bro. Like, but brother is not. He don't look the most athletic. He got a dad bod like crazy, but for some reason, my man just has that little extra gear where,
Mhm.
or it's just like the bad lanes that some of these defenders try to go attack him at, and it's just like you can't it's kind of crazy with some of these quarterbacks, cat like Lamar Jackson and Mahomes, stuff like that. You can't go all the way full speed at them. You kind of got to give yourself like a little bit of leeway for change of direction kind of purposes. And I think a lot of the players on that D lineman, they did have a lot of straightaways to Mahomes. It was just that they kind of gave away what they were going to do with Mahomes. So it was, to me, it seemed very easily for him to be able to calculate for, all right, let me run over to the left, let me run over to the right,
Mhm.
slide to the right, type of stuff like that. Obviously with Xavier Worthy, he's a very explosive player. I still need to see a little bit more from him. One of the
Mhm.
touchdowns was a broken play. Homie
Yeah.
was playing zone when it should have been a man to man. But overall, you definitely can see that defenses will fear the speed. Obviously, you got obviously Juju Smith was in the game. Obviously, he won't be in the game too much when Marquise Brown comes in there. He had a
Mhm.
big drop that Mahomes kind of laid in there.
Mhm.
So obviously, you're not going to be really too worried about the Juju Smith thing. I'm not surprised with Kelsey. I've been saying it since preseason. I think they're gonna kind of like. There'll be a couple games where he looks like Travis Kelsey. I do think he's getting a little old in the tooth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's bad at all, but I think they're trying to save him more towards the bigger games or
Mhm.
playoff. We all know they're going to make the playoffs. So with the Chiefs, I'm not really too surprised. I did see a couple holes in there. In the left number 74, I think false started like every play. I know me and you talked about it a lot. I think that's a weakness on that side. But overall, the interior of the O line for the Kansas City Chiefs look good. Pacheco's Pacheco. I get it. It wasn't like no 25, 50 yards, but I don't think Pacheco's really known for that. To me, he's known
Yeah.
for like the hard yards. Um,
Mhm.
like if it's like a 3rd and 1, 4th and 2 or something like that, you know Pacheco's probably going to get those. He does really well at that. So with the Chiefs, it's not really too surprising. With the Ravens, though, I think Lamar Jackson, you could tell he really wanted to win this game just by how hard he was trying to run the ball, lowering his shoulder down. He kind of hinted about, that he didn't feel right in that championship game. That, obviously, I don't know if he was talking about more so his weight or maybe some injury problems with his legs or anything like that. But obviously, he did lose a lot of weight. It seemed like he was trying to more so focus on running the ball. I still think that the Ravens need the number 1 receiver. I like Zay Flowers and all that, but I don't think he's a true number 1. I think there was a lot of instances where, I agree with you. Man, there may have been a couple of occasions where a receiver was open and Lamar was holding on the ball a little bit longer, but I think the separation with those receivers isn't really too great. Minus Isaiah Likely. I was really me and you have both said it. We both really like Isaiah Likely, but I was really surprised when they named the starting lineup and I saw Isaiah Likely in the starting lineup. I was like, oh, they're running two tight end sets. I should have drafted my man in fantasy right there because I knew homie was gonna cook. Every time I seen Isaiah Likely on this field, he looks like the best player as far as on the offensive side to me, at least on the tight end spot. And I get it. Mark Andrews is a great tight end. But he does have injury problems, so maybe they're kind of doing the same way. Like we have this young superstar of a tight end that could be a number 1 for a lot of other teams. Let's use him and kind of save Mark Andrews for more key moments or something like that. Maybe they have like special packages and stuff like that. So I'm very curious to see how that works. Thank God homie didn't get hurt. It seemed like I thought he might have broken his collarbone or dislocated his shoulder, but he was able to come back. And obviously he had that big catch that we thought was going to end up being either a tie or, a chance to win the game. But obviously, I agree with Patrick Mahomes. I know he was talking a little bit of shit, but bro, you should have wore white shoes. Maybe you wouldn't have had that. Maybe you wouldn't have that problem. You know what I'm saying? So, and then obviously back to your conversation with Derrick Henry. I've always said it, man. I wasn't really a true 100% believer in this signing. I think they should have went more for Josh Jacobs, a Saquon Barkley. I agree with you. If they can get a Keaton Mitchell kid back, I think it would definitely help. But with Derrick Henry, if they don't have the lead, Derrick Henry is non-existent. It was seen with the Titans and all that before. And then on top of that, it's just like with Derrick Henry, you can't just give him 10 touches, 12 touches. You got to give him 25 to 30 touches because that's how he majority gets his yards. Like he'll eventually break one for 50, 60 yards occasionally, but he's not going to be he's not going to be them 10-yard gashers. He's going to be them 3, 4, maybe sometimes 5-yard each possession runs, but I don't think the Ravens are going to do that. I don't think they're going to be committed to give him the ball 30 times because you have Lamar Jackson right there. I think that's what they need. If they're going to keep this kind of method, they need to do that just to save Lamar Jackson in his body because he will not last running the ball like that, the way he was getting knocked around in that game. I appreciate Lamar Jackson, and I know he really wanted to win that game just because of all the commotion about how the Chiefs own him and just the comparisons of him and Patrick Mahomes. I know you can see the weight on him, especially in that game. And definitely in the press conference where he's like, yo, the Chiefs don't own me, all this other stuff. You see it. He really wants to beat the Chiefs. I think a lot of teams are tired of the Chiefs and the conversations that go behind your team. You see it, it happens to every team that is on a run.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's going to be very interesting to see how this team bounces back. Obviously, they play my team next week, and we'll talk about that probably on Wednesday. I ain't gonna get too deep into that, but overall, man, it was a really, really entertaining game. I'll probably say, if I had to rate it, definitely top 3 games of the weekend for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Something else I wanted to talk about in that game. He did miss those 2 throws, the one that likely in the corner, and then he missed the one.
And Zay Flowers one.
He said on the Zay Flowers one he was trying to hit Bateman, but Bateman wasn't nowhere in the area.
He was nowhere to be.
Unless Bateman just ran the wrong route for real. Those are the moments where that's going to separate you from
for sure
top tier quarterbacks. We believe that in the same situation, Josh Allen would have made that throw, or maybe even Joe Burrows, even though he didn't look too good yesterday, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But the top tier quarterbacks, they make those throws. Those are easy throws right there. And look, he might be rusty. He might have been tired because he's been running around, but still, in those moments, you got to make those throws. So
what do you? Sorry to cut you off, but what do you think about Antonio Brown saying that was Zay Flowers' fault, that he should have been the one that should have settled in where he
I
was
I
at.
I think it was both of it might have been both fault. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, it looked like miscommunication. That's what it looked like. It looked
It
like
did.
that
Yeah,
Lamar thought he was gonna sit, and then
yeah,
Zay ran the wrong way. Now
mhm,
maybe Lamar was trying to, pitch Zay some bail
yeah.
and blame it on Bateman.
Right, right.
Bateman's in there like, damn, well, I gotta get
It
this
could be a
guy.
possibility because
Yeah,
Zay Flowers did weigh a lot, especially with that fumble in the championship game. So maybe
yeah.
it could be a possibility. Yeah,
Yeah, so maybe he was not trying to throw shade on Zay, like, nah, that
yeah,
was for Bateman.
yeah.
Bateman, like, no, the fuck it wasn't.
Right, 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 right.
So,
So
but no,
let me ask you a quick question before we change games. Was there anything that concerns you at all? Anything small that concerns you
I mean, of course,
for future games?
Jawan Taylor, he's has the same problems. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like the false starts, the all that, the holding. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his problem last year. And I tried to pitch him a little bill and say he got a little better during, towards the end of the season
Hmm.
in the playoffs. He didn't have that problem, but
Yeah.
those are the things that cost you games, man.
Yeah, for
You
sure. It
know what I'm
does.
saying?
It does.
Mahomes throw a touchdown to somebody, and then we get a flag for him because
Mhm.
he can false start or held somebody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we can't have that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, on defense, Nick Bolton, he was kind of getting done dirty, but I
Hmm.
I I equate that to he really didn't have no training camp. He really didn't play. You look out of shape. He didn't look like Nick Bolton.
Yeah.
Like Nick, he when Isaiah Likely ran that caught that ball and ran into a touchdown,
Hmm.
he
Hmm.
looked slow. He looked like
Yeah.
he was running like he was running in mud. He looked like he was
Yeah.
out of shape. So hopefully he'll watch this game out and go on to the next because I don't know. Chiefs Kingdom, they like to hate on Nick Bolton. They want to get rid of the man.
Ah, man,
Please
that's
don't
crazy.
sign him.
That's crazy.
So we'll see, man. I think he'll be better, but overall, I thought like I said, I thought both sides of the ball showed some good things, and then of course, there's some things you got to clean up.
Yeah,
That's in every game. That's every team. Every team's looking at, hey man, I don't care if you won or lost. There's things you got to clean up. So
for sure. For sure.
let's talk about the Eagles and the Packers on Friday. Eagles end up pulling it out 34-29. Man, this game was the game of woulda, coulda, shoulda interceptions.
Yeah. Yeah. For real. For real.
That could have changed the game for both teams, man.
Hmm.
Like Jalen Hurts, he threw a few passes that should have been pick
Yeah.
sixes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like the one to Nixon, that would probably would have been the game sealer right there. Um, and Jordan Love threw his fair share of passes that probably should have been picked too.
Hmm.
I equated, like you said the other day when we was talking, it was the field. They was in Brazil.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, probably. You playing in that environment you're not used to. So I equated to that. Saquon had a great game. He had three touchdowns.
Yeah.
Uh,
24 carries, 109 yards, two
yards.
TDs. I think he won TD catch.
Yeah, so he showed why he was a great pick for them. He sees how it is
Hmm.
to run by a good offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not, as soon as he get the football, somebody's in his face, a defensive lineman's in his face.
Hmm.
AJ Brown, I think he had like 11 yards,
Yeah. He
something
had like
like
that
that.
big catch. I think it was like, what, 50, 60 yards or something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, 105 catches, 119 in the TD. So he looked like he was in rare form. On the
Hmm.
Packers side, Jordan Love, he was 17 of 34, 260, two touchdowns and an interception. Um, Josh Jacobs, he had 16 carries of 84 yards. Jaden Reed, he had four catches, 138 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Romeo Dobbs, he did okay, four catches, 50 yards. The rest of the receivers was kind of okay too. But
Hmm.
for the most part, it was kind of a slow build game. Like in the
Yeah.
beginning, it was kind of boring.
Hmm.
It was kind of like, man, the field
Yeah.
was all messed up. You gotta get these fields better, man. Especially when they do these international games. They fields always be bad. So
That's true. That's true.
so the Saquon got the first carry, boom, he fell. It
Yeah.
was like,
Right.
damn.
Yeah.
Here we
Right.
go. Here we go. So,
No doubt.
but at the end of the day, the Eagles capitalized, and at the end of the game, they won the game. Jalen Hurts made the throws that he needed to make. He did some runs too. Unfortunately, Jordan Love, he got a little banged up. towards the end of the game. He made a crazy throw to the sideline of Dobbs, and then that's the play he got hurt on his knee. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but I know it's MCL sprain or something like that. Um, they put Malik Willis in for the final two plays, and we all knew then they was going to lose. So,
Right.
um, as far as the Packers go, I don't, like I said, this all depends on when Jordan Love can come back and be healthy. Because with Malik Willis, they have no chance in hell.
Yeah.
Um, as far as the Eagles go, they got some things they got to clean up,
Hmm.
especially on the defensive side. I think it was just miscommunication. They got some new guys back there. But other than that, I think the Eagles look like they're going to be, Jalen Hurts, he definitely has to clean up the turnovers, man. He cannot continue to turn the football over
Hmm.
because, we have questions this year about him. Can he duplicate the year that he went to the Super Bowl? Because if he can, then he can challenge and be right there to be in the Super Bowl. But
Hmm.
this team is primed and ready. This offense is loaded. Defense, they got some young pieces over there that look right. The defensive line looks 10 times better than it looked last year.
Hmm.
And the Packers defensive line didn't look too bad either. So,
Hmm.
um, so yeah, that's my assessment of that game. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, man. Overall, man, I said it's kind of hard to assess this game with it being an international game. I said, me and you kind of talked about it before. The field was really really bad, really choppy. Overall, man, I have the same sentiments as you. I think Jalen Hurts definitely needs to clean it up, but it seemed like he got a little bit more comfortable as the game went on. He was able to find his connections. I would have loved to see him see if he could get the ball to Devontae Smith a little bit more. But Saquon looked amazing. Just kind of really affects, kind of makes you really question why the Giants got rid of him. You know what I'm saying? If you could have paired Saquon with Malik Neighbors, I get it. We'll talk about that game in a little bit. It just makes you question that a little bit. But Saquon looked amazing, very explosive once he was able to get in touch of how the field was playing after that one slip with his first carry. But obviously, you look, man, the biggest story of the whole thing is Jordan Love getting injured, man. He sprained his MCL. Reports are saying he's going to be out 3 to 6 weeks. So, can the Packers hold on? I think they really need to start looking into. I know they got Malik Willis, but I do not think Malik Willis is the answer. Do they look at Ryan Tannehill? I think that would be a good thing to look into. He's sitting on the sideline. Yeah, I think he could be able to hold out for the next couple weeks. Like if we look at their next, let's say 5 games, you got the Colts next up. That's going to be really tough. I know it's at their home, but it's going to be tough. You got the Titans. I get it, they lost, but they were playing really good in the beginning parts of that Bears game. Will Levis made some idiotic throws. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit. Then you got the Vikings. Sam Darnold looked impressive. With divisional games, you never know. And that Rams game is going to be tough, and that Cardinals game is going to be tough. And then going to the Texans. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they can hold out, especially with how hard this division could possibly be. So, but overall, man, congratulations to the Eagles in a tough win, man. And we're gonna have to see how the Packers hold up these next couple weeks.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Let's move on to the Steelers and the Falcons. They were one of the morning games or the
Yeah,
12 o'clock games. Um, Justin Fields was the starter because Russell Wilson was hurt. He had a calf injury that he
I thought it was
sustained in
funny how he
practice.
still had his shoulder
Yeah,
pads on, knowing damn well, bro.
he ain't getting in the game.
Bro, come on, dog. We get it.
he, try,
We get
he trying to be with the team,
it.
man.
Oh my
Let's show
god.
unity, man.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, but I
No,
thought
no,
that.
you good, you good. No, but Justin Fields, he was 17 to 23, 156 yards, no touchdowns, no INTs. Uh, Najee Harris had 20 carries, 70 yards. Justin Fields had 14 carries, 57 yards. George Pickens had 6 catches, 85
Mhm.
yards. And TJ Watt, man, let me tell you something, dog.
Yeah.
If they didn't have TJ Watt,
Hmm.
the Steelers would be horrible, dog.
Yeah. They would. They would be. They would be.
That man, he carried that team on his back and won that game for real. Because
Hmm.
man, dude was out. He was everywhere, dog. He was everywhere. But no, then on the other side, Kirk Cousins, he didn't look too good. I don't know if it's rust. Maybe it was a little bit. I know he didn't do no training camps. I mean, not training camp, but he didn't do no preseason. So
Hmm.
looked like his timing was a little off.
Yeah.
Um, 16 for 26, 155 yards, 1 touchdown, but he had 2 INTs. Bijan Robinson had 18 carries for 68 yards. Um, and the only person who scored was Kyle Pitts. He had three
Yeah.
catches for 26 yards. Um, so yeah, the offenses look out of sync. Defensively, they look pretty good.
Hmm.
Um, with Jesse Bates back there, AJ Terrell. Um, you had Grady Jarrett, who he had a pretty good game. He had a sack and he had a sack and a half.
Hmm.
So their defense looked pretty good. It's just their offense. They got to get it going because Kirk Cousins continuously looks like this. They're gonna be calling for Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Nah, yeah, yeah, that's coming quick.
mhm,
Look, I'm gonna give Kirk a little slide, man.
mhm,
He is coming off the Achilles. He didn't play no preseason games. The reason why he didn't play any preseason games, I totally understand. He's coming off the Achilles. You don't want to re-injure anything, any calf muscles. You want him ready for the regular season. So, um, I'm a little bit not surprised by the slow start by them. I expect to see them better as they go with Kirk. With the Steelers, obviously that the Steelers defense was really good. TJ Watt is amazing and a candidate for defensive player of the year again. He can even be look, he might be one of the only couple defensive players that could potentially thrive for an MVP run. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
mhm,
uh Justin Fields put on the performance I assumed he would, 156 yards. He has a couple explosive plays. At this point, the big question with the Steelers is, would Russell Wilson be any better than this? I don't know. That's a really good. I think that'll be a big question to kind of like answer with that. But it's going to be harder if Justin Fields continue to get these wins and show some explosiveness with these plays. It's going to be kind of harder for Russell Wilson to get a chance to start unless Justin Fields just kind of like does you know really bad, make poor decisions, and turn over the ball and lose a couple games in a row. So overall, man, this game was not really pleasant to the eyes. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't watch too much of this. I was at the bar, so I caught a couple
thank God
of
for
it
red
and stuff like
zone.
that. But
Woo.
yeah, for real. But Falcons need to bounce back for real. Kirk Cousins needs to bounce back for real. It's gonna be a big couple weeks for them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, let's talk about the next game. This was way more exciting. Buffalo Bills versus the Arizona Cardinals. They end
Hmm.
up beating the Cardinals 34-28.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray was
Hmm.
21 to 31, 162 yards and a touchdown. He also had 5 carries and 57 yards. Um, Marvin Harrison Jr. only had one catch for 4 yards. I don't know why they're not trying to get him
Yeah,
the
that was
ball.
insane. He was open for one of those plays. I think to win the game too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Um, but and this is what I expected for Buffalo. I thought Buffalo offensively, I had no questions about them. I knew they could score. They have Josh Allen out there. They got enough weapons out there for him
Yeah.
to throw the football around.
Yeah.
And it showed. And he was 18 for 23, 232 yards, two touchdowns. He had two touchdowns on the ground. James Cook had 19 carries for 71 yards. Keon Coleman had a cool day, 4 catches, 51 yards. Khalil Shakir had 3 catches, 42 yards, and a touchdown. Mac Hollins had a touchdown too. But yeah, this is exactly what I expected from Buffalo. Their
Mhm.
defense is what I had questions with in each
Mhm.
show.
Yeah.
Just imagine if they did rev up Marvin Harrison Jr., it might have been worse.
Yeah.
And I just think this is going to be Buffalo. They're going to be in every shootout in the world. That's
Yeah.
what they're going to have to win games. Josh Allen's going to have to put this team. You thought Josh Allen had to really put a team on his back. He's really going to have to put the team on his back and
Yeah.
score every play. And this is what scares me is that we all know how Josh Allen tends to get.
Mhm.
Sometimes he turns the football over, get a little reckless,
Yeah.
throw an interception, fumble the football, and
Mhm.
that could ultimately hurt them because their defense isn't as good as it used to be.
Mhm.
So we'll see going forward. Maybe they make some improvements, but they're going to be in a lot of shootouts early. I will say that. So,
Yeah.
and they probably should have lost this game if Kyler Murray hits Marvin Harrison Jr. on the wide open. He was wide open,
Mhm.
like in the back of the end zone. Like
Yeah.
if he hits him, we could be talking about a different story. And Buffalo's 0-1. So,
Mhm.
as far as the Cardinals go, offensively they look good. In the beginning, defensively they was looking pretty good in the beginning
Mhm.
because they went up 10-0, and I was
Mhm.
already like, uh-oh. Then Josh Allen, he put the team on his back and started coming back. He came back, and then it was kind of a shootout. It was, touchdown for touchdown until Kyler and them just couldn't convert. So shout out to Buffalo, they got the dub. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they're gonna be in a lot of shootouts. What was your
Nah,
thought?
yeah. Well, that was the main reason why I had Josh Allen winning the MVP, because
Hmm.
if he can just get this team to be a number 2 or 3 seed, he's gonna, as you said, he's gonna have to put this whole team on his back, and them numbers are gonna be fucking crazy.
Hmm.
So look, man, if he can have a clean game, they're gonna be in a lot of games. This defense, they do have a lot of holes, but they're gonna have to be one of those bend not break type style defenses. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really surprised with the Cardinals. I agree with you. Marvin Harrison Jr. needs to get more than one catch. There was a couple of plays where he broke it. He broke it open. There was some miscommunication on that back end with the Bills, where Marvin Harrison Jr. could have easily had about 80, 90 yards of total offense for this team and a TD. So Kyle Murray looks really good. Obviously, they're gonna have to clean up that communication with him and Marvin Harrison Jr. I thought James Conner looked really well. Look, Cardinals are going to be. Look, I don't know if they're going to be a playoff team, but they're going to give everybody their best game. There's going to be tough to beat this team, regardless. So it is what it is. But shout out to the Bills with a big win at home to start off the season, and then they got a big one coming up Thursday.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You got Chicago Bears went against the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee end up losing after they were up 17-0.
Yeah.
Uh, they lost the lead and let Chicago get back in the game. Will Levis, it was a tale of two tapes. In the first half, he was pretty good. In the second
Yeah.
half, he was terrible.
Yeah, that was the
Um,
worst, one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen.
yeah, he was
I don't know what
bad.
he was thinking.
He was 19 of 32, 127 yards, one touchdown, two INTs. Also had 4 carries and 36 yards. Tony Pollard had a pretty good game, 16 carries, 82 yards, 5.1 yards a clip, one touchdown. Calvin really, he was okay. Three catches for 50 yards. On the other end, Caleb Williams wasn't the best game for him.
No.
14-29, only 93 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. The offense was meh. Wasn't the offense that we was expecting,
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
hopefully they can get this cleaned up. Supposedly Rome got hurt. They're supposed to do an MRI on his knee. Hopefully he's okay.
Hmm.
But yeah, they got to pick it up. They got to pick up this offense because it wasn't a good showing for Caleb. Now, yeah, I mean, he was kind of overthrowing some guys too. I saw some shots where he overthrew them. Sometimes he holds the ball a little bit too long, trying to,
Hmm.
extend the play and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Sometimes you just got to, hit the open receiver, man. Like you ain't
Right.
got to always get the highlight reel. So hopefully he gets that cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it was an interesting football game to say the least. But they got the dub. Bears got the dub. They're 1-0. So
Yeah. To get through it by quick, man. Look, man, I get Caleb Williams has a lot of hype around him, but we still gotta remember he is a rookie, first game.
mhm.
I get it. He probably had a lot of pressure on him, at Chicago at home. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have big expectations of him throwing 300 yards and 4 TDs. Look, I think this offense will be fine. I think they'll get better. I think overall this the second half showed the Bears' capabilities with that defense and that special teams production. You know what I mean? They were able to get points off a block punt. Defense was able to hold its own, get a couple scores for themselves. If this offense can get in somewhat of a motion and figure it out, like this Bears team could be very, very scary. So if they can stay healthy, so hopefully Romaduze stays. Hopefully it's not too serious where he's going to be out for the rest of the year or a long period of time. Hopefully it's just kind of like a week to week type of thing. But look, man, I think the Bears will be better as the season goes. With the Titans, look, Tony Pollard looked good. He looked really explosive. So I was really pleasantly surprised to see that. Will Levis, as you said, he did look good in the beginning, but he needs to clean up them turnovers. I get it. He's kind of trying to do his Brett Favre impersonation, but he needs to stop that. And look, if he can just control within himself, we can see the talent that this team has. You know what I mean? That they can give people a real scare for their money. Now, if they can win those games or not, we'll be telling. But they could be like the Cardinals in the AFC. How I said they would be in the NFC. Like if Will Levis can just play a clean game, and then you get DeAndre Hopkins back, this team can squeak out a couple wins you didn't expect. You know what I mean? So it's something to be a lookout. But congrats to the Bears on the comeback win.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do this few next games real quick.
Yeah,
Patriots and Bengals. Patriots beat the Bengals 16-10. Patriots defense is the story of this game. Deion White, I think he had like 2.5 sacks. Bengals, they were missing T Higgins. He's out for with the hamstring. Jamar Chase didn't do no training camp whatsoever, barely
no,
practice. So he looked rusty. I think he only had like 6 plays he ran yesterday. Um, and we talked about this that the Patriots offense is going to be great by no means. It's not going to be anything great about that offense, but that defense is really really good,
really
and
good.
they showed
Yeah,
it yesterday. Christian Gonzalez is a baller. Like
yeah.
Deion White looks like he's going to be a perennial pass rusher in this
Hmm.
league. So that defense is real nice, and it showed. And as far as the Bengals, they just look out of sync. They look off. Their defense was pretty good, but they just look off. Uh, I don't know. We all know that the Bengals start slow. Now, I will say this: uh, the tight end Tanner, man, just cover the ball up and run it in the end zone. You sitting up there trying to look like trying to get a highlight reel
Yeah,
and fumble the football. You probably could have won the game. That probably would have won them the game. That
yeah,
that touchdown right there. But he trying to be superstar and look good, and he fumbled the football and fumbled the game away pretty much. So then they fumbled again on special teams.
right.
So it was just all bad. So
Yeah, no,
we'll
like
see for
to
him.
get through it quick. Look, I've been said this. I said this last week that I thought Joe Burrow was overhyped to a degree, and we're kind of seeing it. This is what I've been saying, man. Like, uh, I there's something going on between Chase and this organization that isn't right. He wasn't even targeted a lot. Uh, he missed all the training camp just like CD, and CD got a lot of love. You know what I mean? With the Cowboys, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Jamar Chase got no love. That T Higgins hamstring injury is more scary than you think because it sounds like he's definitely not playing against the Chiefs. So that's another big loss for them. It's not going to get easier for them. So look, man, Joe Burrow has been considered the second best quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes. We got to see it. I have to see it. You know what I mean? I haven't consistently seen it. So it's a big question that needs to be answered.
Yeah, for sure. Next game, there's nothing to be said. The Saints beat the hell out of the Panthers. The Panthers still look like the worst team in the league. Bryce Young
Yeah,
looks like he
man.
hasn't made no progression whatsoever.
Let me ask you. Let's just get straight to the point with this one, man. Is it time to move on from the Bryce Young experiment? Is it time? Is it
I'm
time for
not gonna do that to him after one game, but if it continues like this, yeah,
I expected a better performance from the Panthers, dog. I get it; they're not a great team, but I expected some more competence. Like Bryce
yeah.
Young is still making terrible throws, bad interceptions, bad
Mhm.
reads. He looks like he's still having a hard time seeing through the lanes. Like it does not look really good at all, man. I don't know where they go from here, but this was the game I picked the Panthers to win this game because I thought the Saints was. I apologize, Saints, Saints. I apologize, Derek Carr. I'm sorry. He even talked. Derek Carr was even talking this shit. You know what I mean? So
He
I
look
want to
like old
apologize to that
Derek
team.
Carr. He look like Derek.
Kamara looked like old Kamara. He looked
Yeah,
explosive. You know what I'm
he
saying?
do.
And then on top of that, Chris Olave didn't even get a lot of love.
Mm.
Rashid Shaheed looked really good. You still got Taysom Hill and all that, man. So, my apologies to the Saints for right now. Look, I've seen Derek Carr have a great game and then 3 bad ones in a row. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get too crazy. A couple of my Saints friends are talking about Super Bowl already. Y'all need to chill
Yeah,
out because you
chill
already
out.
know what's up. So, but shout out to y'all with the week
Shout,
one win.
shout out, shout out to the homie Hollywood. She was in Sports at the Dark last night because she's a
Okay.
Saints fan, and she
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Yeah, we gotta see, Derek Carr fuck around and look
Hold on.
good
Yeah, yeah,
today, and then next few games he looked terrible." She said, "I still gotta see it,
yeah,
but
right. They might have used all their clips up in this game alone. You know what I mean? So we got to see. They got a big game next week with the Cowboys on the
yeah,
road. So we'll
yeah,
see.
for sure." Um, the other worst team, they might be the worst team in the league.
Hmm.
Vikings versus the Giants. Look,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was another mud stump. Daniel Jones is terrible. He got
It's
benched.
getting bad. Yeah, it's getting
he,
really bad. You see that
he had,
video of him walking out, and they were just heckling him like crazy. Did you see that video?
mm-mm.
Nah, this is bad. He was walking out of the stadium, leaving the game, and they're calling him Danny Pennies or some shit, booing him, burning his jersey and shit. Like, it's getting bad, bro. It's getting really bad.
It is horrible. You see clips of Malik Neighbors. He like,
Yeah,
man, look, man, I just do it, me, dog.
I'm just here, man. You got to talk to him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I heard him on that.
It's like it's up. It's
Yeah,
already up.
nah.
Malik ain't been there but a few months, and he already over it.
Yeah, he is, dog. He
But
is.
yeah, it was bad. Sam Darnold, on the other hand, he looked amazing out
He
there.
looks really good. He looked really good. Vikings looked really good. Justin Jefferson, we all know what Justin Jefferson can do. Addison, he got hurt, I believe, so hopefully it's not too bad with him. But shout out to the Vikings, man. Sam Darnold could do this, man. It could surprise a lot of teams in that division.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go to the two exciting games. We'll start with the Jaguars and Dolphins. Jaguars were up for most of this game. They had a big lead on them, but the Dolphins ended up coming back, winning 20-17. Tua had a really good game
Yeah.
in the second half. He picked it up in the second half. Lawrence, he had 12. He was 12-21, 162 yards and a touchdown. Tank Bigsby had 12 catches, 73 yards. Travis Etienne had 12 catches, 44 yards, and a TD. Gabe Davis had 3 catches, 62 yards. Brian Thomas Jr. had 4 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown. He probably should have got targeted more. Tua had he was 23 of 37, 338 yards and a touchdown. Jeff Wilson had 5 catches, 26 yards. HN had 10 catches, 24 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, after having a crazy morning, and I'll get into that later. But Tyreek Hill had 7 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown. Waddle had 5 catches, 109 yards. But this game was crazy. In the first half, Jacksonville dominated, and then in the second half, Miami put it together, came back, and ended up winning by a field goal. Tyreek Hill is still that dude. He's still one of the best. Waddle is probably one of the better number 2 wide receivers in this league.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, they put it together, and their defense wasn't too bad either in the second half. Emmanuel Ogbah, he had a pretty good game. He had a sack. Calais Campbell, old man Calais Campbell, still out here getting it done.
Yeah.
Had a sack. I think that dude like 39. That's a big dude. I seen him.
Huge.
Jalen Phillips had a sack. Like, their defensive line got some guys over there, and they look pretty good on that defensive line. We had questions about that, especially some of these guys. Jalen Phillips coming off of an injury, but he looks like he's still in rare form. So, we'll see about this Dolphins team. And they look like I equate them going down to the Tyreek Hill situation. I think they were a little flustered after hearing more of the story that he wasn't the only one that got arrested. Like Calais Campbell got arrested. I think another player got arrested for trying to make sure that the situation wasn't bad. It just looked like a cop that was trying to get his name up or whatever off of Tyreek Hill. But they look like they played, a little flat in the beginning, and then they just kind of was like, all right, y'all, because we here, it happened. Let's play football. And then they picked it up. So shout out to the Dolphins, man. They came back and won a tough, hard-fought game. As far as Jacksonville goes, they look like, they was cool. You know what I'm saying? I think ETN might have lost the game with that fumble in the end zone. If he had scored that touchdown, they probably would have won the game.
They would have.
So he fumbled the game. He fumbled the football, and that ultimately lost him the game. So, but I'm not worried about Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville looked good. Trevor Lawrence, he looked decent. He was solid. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't nothing spectacular, but he was solid. I think they got something. Brian Thomas Jr. I think that kid's going to be a star. But other than that, I thought they did well. Their defensive line looked good too. They got some guys over there. So Eric Armstead, what's his name? Joshua Hines Allen, he looked good. So yeah, Jacksonville looks fine.
Yeah, with the Dolphins, man. Look, I know they start off slow, but this team is a very explosive team, man. Devon Achane looked very, very explosive. Obviously, we saw what Tyreek Hill do. Jalen Waddle, he just has to stay healthy, man. With Waddle, man, he got hurt again a little bit in yesterday's game, but he was able to come back. This defense looked really good. Jalen Ramsey still looks amazing. even today. He had a couple plays, man, that really stood out on the screen for real. So like I look, the thing with this Dolphins team, it's not how they play now, it's how they play when it's in November and December. Can they win that's the biggest question with them. Can they win in these close games? Can they stay healthy? Can Tua play in a non-perfect environment? That's always been the big question with this team. I'm not really worried about them right now. But look, if they can figure out a way to win some ugly games, man, the Dolphins can make some noise, man. They can scare a lot of people, especially with all this talent. So I was impressed by it, but it's a wait and see thing with the Dolphins and with the Jags. I agree with you. If Travis Etienne didn't get that fumble right on the 1 yard line, this game might not have been closer than it would have got. Man, it could have snowballed into like a 40 to 17 type of game. You know what I'm saying? So with the Jags, I'm not worried. I think Trevor Lawrence looked good. Travis Etienne looked really good. I agree with you. Brian Thomas looked amazing. Christian Kirk, he had a couple drops, but I think he'll be fine. I think he's coming off an injury in training camp as well. So and that defense looked really good in the beginning, and they got a little sloppy with some of the reads and all that. But overall, I think both these teams will be competing for playoff spots, and it should definitely be interesting to see. Like Dolphins, as you said, they got the Bills coming to Miami next week, so we'll see what's up. I expect another big game from Tyreek Hill in that one, especially how them cornerbacks with the Bills look like against the Cardinals. So yeah, if you got Tyreek Hill, man, your fantasy's looking all right.
Way up, way up. Let's get to the other big game, AFC South rivalry, Texans versus the Colts. See, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. 3 yards carry. Eagle Collins picking up where he left off last year. 6 catches, 117 yards. The Texans, Richards, 9 for 19, 12, 6 carries, 56 on Brown Johnson Taylor, 6 carries, 8 yards in the touchdown. Alec Pierce had 2 catches, 125 yards in the touchdown. Sheen had 1 catch, 54 yards in the touchdown. Also, Stephon Diggs had catches, 3 yards, 6 catches, 30 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, man. He having little struggles, but it kind of was going into the Texans Colts game, 29-27. Jordan Mix had a great game. He had 30 carries, 159 yards, 1 TD. Anthony Richardson played a pretty decent game. He had 1 turnover, 1 pick. I think my overall thoughts with this game was, it kind of was what I thought this game would be. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. My parlay, I took the Texans Colts over. You know what I mean? At the beginning of the game, it started off slow. I was a little worried about that, but the Texans, CJ Stroud, he kind of like got it going. Seemed like that connection with Stephon Diggs looked really good. Nico Collins made a hell of a catch to kind of seal the game a little bit. But the biggest thing with the Texans is I'm really surprised how Jordan Mix played, man. I wasn't really expecting him to get 30 carries, especially at what we saw coming off the Cincinnati Bengals the last couple of years and some of the injury problems that he had. But look, if he can sustain that, with 30 carries and getting you 100 yards, man, it could go a big way especially with that play action pass with CJ Stroud. It could open a lot of things up, for Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, and Dalton Schultz and Nico Collins and all that. It's just a slew of weapons all across that field. Obviously, there were some things on the defensive side I would have loved to see better from the Texans, but overall, man, I thought offensively they when they clicked, it looked really good. With the Colts, man, they looked good. Anthony Richardson looked really good. I said minus the pick and all that. Pierce made some great catches and stuff like that, man. So it was a game that it just seemed like it was something that was. I expected this game. The way it went, it just
Yeah.
went the way it went. You know what I'm saying? So, but both teams look really good, man. I
Hmm.
think both of these teams have very explosive capabilities. Anthony Richardson looked like he was getting more comfortable in that pocket. But CJ Stroud, and that offense will be amazing,
Hmm.
amazing. So I said Mixon having 30 carries was surprisingly impressive. I was not
Hmm.
expecting that. So if
It
he can
wasn't
sustain
here.
that, that opens up a whole bunch of things for this offense. So.
When's the last time? What's the last thing you heard?
It kind of just went in out. You were kind of going in, going in. You were just kind of like giving us the stats on the games, and it kind of went in out. I was about to text you, but yeah, that was the last thing we heard.
Oh, all I said was that Anthony Richardson he missed Adnan Mitchell on a couple
Yeah.
touchdowns down the
Hmm.
field.
Yeah.
They probably would have boosted up his numbers. But other than that, Anthony Richardson he looked good. We got to understand he hasn't played football in a long
Hmm.
time since
Hmm.
last year, so
Hmm.
he'll clean that up. Shane Steichen is the best thing that's going to happen to Anthony Richardson. Trust you
Yeah,
me, as Jalen Hurts.
for
So
sure.
but no, Colts, Texans, they look good. This is going to be a match for years. Add in Jacksonville into that in the Division Two, they're going to be battling it out.
Hmm.
We'll see with Tennessee. Will Levis, he's going to have to not. He's going to have to clean that up if he
Hmm.
wants to compete with these three teams because
Yeah.
this is looking like a better one of the better divisions with three good quarterbacks, really good quarterbacks. So um, let's go to the afternoon games, man. You know what, Mom? I can't do it no more, man. I tried to defend this guy. Me and you
You
go
finally,
back.
you finally starting to see my light. You finally starting to see
Me,
my light.
me and you, we've had this debate, and I
Hmm.
tried to defend him, try to be his lawyer a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
try to
Hmm.
defend him. But
Yeah.
after yesterday, I just can't do it no more.
Yeah. Go ahead and say it. Go
Deshaun
ahead.
Watson is washed up. It's over. It's
Thank you.
over. It's
Thank
over,
you.
man.
Thank you.
It's over, man. Start
Thank
Jameis Winston, man. Just start him. At least he might throw some picks, man. At least he gonna move the offense because that offense looks horrible.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
They can't move the ball at all, and he
Yeah.
is the problem. And now look, his offensive line didn't do him no help, but still, it was bad. It was
Yeah.
just bad. And Cowboys, as much as trash I talked about the Cowboys this offseason,
They look good.
they look pretty.
They look good. They look good.
I might have been. Now it's week one. I know, but next week they come in, stake up the joint, and look bad.
Hmm.
But man, Dak looked amazing.
He did.
He was like he signed that contract
Yeah,
and
he,
was like,
he
yeah, it's
looked like a
time to
happy.
go.
He looked like a happy rich man. That's what he looked like. He looked like a happy rich man.
And look, it wasn't that his stats, but it was just the eye test. He just
Yeah.
looked like he was just out there just having fun, man.
Right.
He was 19 to 32, 179 yards, a touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, 10 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. CD Lamb had 5 catches, 61 yards, and Brandon Cook had 4 catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown.
Hmm.
Sean Watson had 24, 45, 169 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks.
Yeah.
Jerome Ford, 12 catches, 44 yards. Joku had 4 catches, 44 yards, but he ended up getting hurt, had to lead the game. There's not much to say, man. I said it. Deshaun Watson is washed. It's over.
Deshaun Watson is trash. I'm sorry. It's over. It's over.
It's over, man.
It's over. Like I've been saying this for probably the last 2 years. He hasn't done anything that warrants him getting that contract. Minus what he did with the Texans, man, he has not looked the same at all. It's like my man totally forgot how to play football. Uh, just his reads are horrible. He's late with the ball. He's throwing the ball behind. He's throwing the ball out of bounds. He's running out of the pocket when he don't really need to. Uh, it's bad. And then you heard it from Cleveland fans. They were booing him out the goddamn stadium. So I don't know how much better it's going to be. Like, yeah, Jameis Winston should be the starter of this team. Um, I think he's a little bit more mature. Where I don't think we'll see the turnover ratios that we used to see when he was with the Bucks. And obviously, you even kind of hinted in past episodes with the Bruce Arians situation where he just wanted to throw the ball 555 times and did not care about running the ball at all.
Mm-mm.
With this team, that's not going to happen. So it'll be a little bit more balanced, where I think that would help out Jameis Winston. But I think this team will be way more explosive and way more productive. This team is way too much, has way too much talent. There's been too much invested into this team to look like this bad, especially a Dallas Cowboys team that went through so much offseason problems. I get it. They signed CD Lamb to get him back in camp. They gave Dak Prescott his deal a couple hours before the game. Congratulations to those two guys. They deserved it. You get what you deserve, and Dak Prescott is able to get 60 million. Congratulations to him. I would never hate on anybody getting no bread, but look, man, the Browns shouldn't. If they lost, they shouldn't lose. They shouldn't have lost like this. This game was over. This game was over by halftime. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, it was a really disappointing display, and I'm not even gonna blame the coach. This is all Deshaun to me. This is all Deshaun, and this is another reason why I was questioning why they did not play him in any preseason games. I get it; he was coming off an injury from last year, but he has not shown you anything that makes you suggest that he is capable of running this offense at all. I don't know what has happened to this man, but he should have played preseason to get the rest off. He should have, even if it was a one drive, maybe two drives a game, but just something to get him in the groove. Like, you cannot start off this bad. And the Browns, man. Hey, man, I don't know, man. It's not looking good. I'm sure those local Brown radio stations, sports radio stations, are going off right now. I can only imagine what Brown fans are saying on some of them local radio stations right now.
Get him out of here now.
Yeah. Facts. Nah, facts.
All right, man. Let's talk about the Seahawks and the Broncos. Seahawks ended up winning 26-20. This was a slow burn in the beginning. Gino had threw a pick. Looked like he was a little antsy in the beginning, but he calmed down. And this is more so about Kenneth Walker. He had 20 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown. Gino had 18-25, 171, one touchdown, one INT. Tyler Lockett had 6 catches, 77 yards. Bo Nix, not too good. 126, 42, 132, 38 yards, two INTs. He ran one in, had 5 carries and 35 yards. Denver looks bad. They do not look like a good team at all.
Look, man, I'm gonna say it right here, right now. Sean Payton was going in here gloating, talking about like, I fooled the Raiders. I fooled this team to get fucking Bo Nix. And what do? You make Bo Nix look terrible. Like, come on, man. What? As I said, Sean Payton think he's smarter than everybody else, but in reality, he's one of the more overrated quarterback coaches to me. He really is, man. He hasn't really shown me anything without Drew Brees. So I really don't have much to say about this game, but just that Sean Payton I'm not impressed at all. Seahawks, congratulations, Kenneth Walker. He looked really good. Congratulations to the Seahawks. Plus, I love their jersey selection for Sunday. I love them jerseys. Shout out to that. So, but that's all I got to say. Sean Payton, he got to stop acting like he's the smartest man in the room. In reality, he just makes himself look stupid about a week.
Yeah, for sure. Buccaneers beat the Commanders 37-20. This game wasn't really close at all. Baker Mayfield looked really good.
Amazing. He looked amazing.
He looked like he's on a mission. Him and Mike Evans. Him and that Mike Evans connection is, like money. He was 24 of 30, 289, 4 touchdowns. Bucky Irvin, running back from Oregon, rookie running back, he had a really good game, 9 carries for 62 yards. Yeah. Chris Godwin looked like real form. Chris Godwin, 8 catches, 83 yards and a touchdown. Rashad White, he had 6 catches for 75 yards. You had Mike Evans, 5 catches, 61 yards and a touchdown. Jalen McMillan, he should have had 2 touchdowns. He dropped one that was wide open.
Yeah.
But 1 catch, 32 yards and a touchdown. Hey man, Buccaneers look like they might surprise some people this year. They look like they're in rare form on offense. They look juvenated. They flying around. Defense looks really good too. Commanders, you could just tell they're in rebuild mode.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, he was cool. He's 17 for 24, 84 yards. He has 16 carries, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. That looked good for the fantasy owners out there. Austin Eckler, he was cool. Brian Robinson Jr. is okay too. Yeah, you can just tell they're in rebuild mode. Their defensive line looks really good.
Mhm.
Deron Payne, he was creating havoc
Yeah,
in the backfield. They just got to get this offense. You got to get the ball to Terry McLaurin. You got to
yeah,
figure
you
out.
got to.
You got to figure out the way to get the ball to Terry McLaurin, man. He can't just be out there 2 catches, 17 yards. Yeah, that's not good enough. Uh, got to get the ball to Terry. He's your best player on that offense right now. So,
Yeah, even Austin, even Austin Eckler looked surprisingly good. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Game. Look. Well, any of these rookie quarterbacks, they're gonna go through their motions, man. Jaden Daniels, look, man, Jaden, I'm be honest with you, brother. You need to tighten up that helmet because that helmet was flying off a little bit too much for my liking. Like them, like you, bro, you barely get touched, and that shit look like you got knocked out by fucking like Sean Taylor, bro. So like tighten up that helmet. Them cornerbacks for the Commanders are atrocious. They are atrocious, dog. They need help on that back end. That back end is pretty bad. So it's kind of hard when your defensive line is like they only can do so much, man. So it's gonna be trying times for the Commanders this year. You can kind of tell. So shout out to Jaden Daniels. I just need him to stay healthy, man. Try to figure out that connection with Terry McLaurin, um, Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler. Try to get that going. But and then I still don't understand the Jahan Dotson trade. I really don't
I
get
don't
that. I
either.
think that just really affects more so Jaden Daniels. I don't know if it was kind of a play where they were hoping maybe Brandon Ayuk may have changed his mind and he could have came in, clear some more cap space. But in reality, Brandon Ayuk was never going to the Commanders. And it didn't seem like they even really tried that hard to get him. So it just makes it even more curious why they traded Jahan Dotson to the Eagles. Out of all the places, the Eagles, one in your division, it just makes no sense. But with the Bucks, man, I want to apologize, man. I had the Falcons winning this division, and you know what? I'm already changing my mind, dog. I'm already are the look. I look. I didn't look. My whole thing was Baker Mayfield. I didn't know if we were going to get another season like this with just the consistency of him because we haven't seen it. Like we seen him have a great year, and then the next year it just does not look good at all. I apologize to Baker Mayfield. He seems like he's in a better place mentally to the point where he's just confident in what he knows what to do. You know what I mean? And then he's built a rapport with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. As you said, Bucky Irvin, Rashad White, they have weapons across the board on this team. And it's clearly seen that defense is not bad at all. They have some experience on
Antoine Wellfield Jr.
all
Yeah.
that. So, and some people consider him one of the best. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
he is one of the best. You know what I mean? So look, man, I apologize to the Buccaneers team. I apologize to the Buccaneers fans.
Me too.
Look, man, you guys potentially, hey, man, look, man, you guys had one of the better performances of the week. So if you guys can keep this going, man, hey, man, don't be surprised, man, if they don't make a run into an NFC Championship game, man. They were one game away last year.
That's
So,
right. Yeah.
hey, man, yo, shout out to that team, bro. Y'all looked really good.
They did. They did. All right, man. You want to take the floor on this one? You want me
Oh,
to, you want me to go
go
through the
ahead,
stats?
set it up, bro. I'll let you set it up. Go ahead.
All right. Chargers beat the Raiders 22-10.
Yeah,
Justin Herbert had a modest game, 17-26,
yeah.
144 yards, one touchdown. J.K. Dobbins, man, that dude has 9 lives, dog.
He do.
Like, he breaks his leg, just come back and still look good. 10
Achilles, all
carries,
that, man. I'm happy for him. I'm
135
happy
yards.
for him.
Me
I'm
too.
really happy for him,
Me
man.
too,
Yeah,
man. Like, dude is ball. He's a baller, man.
yeah,
10
for
carries,
sure.
135 yards, one touchdown. Lad McConkey had 5 catches, 39 yards. He had a touchdown. Quentin Johnson, 3 catches, 38 yards. That's it.
Yeah.
On your side, Gardner Minshew, 25 with 33, 257 yards, one touchdown, one INT.
Mhm.
Zamir Wright, 13 carries, 44 yards. Jacoby Myers, 3 catches, 61 yards. Devontae Adams, 5 catches, 59 yards. Brock Bauer, 6 carries, 6 catches, 58 yards. All right, man. The floor is yours.
Uh, look, man. Last night I was pretty pissed off. Last night I was really pissed off last night. I settled down a little bit. I'm gonna try to be as fair as possible, constructive but fair. Gardner Minshew didn't play bad. He didn't play that bad. I don't even think the play calling was bad. I know a lot of people are I'm hearing, I saw on Raiders Twitter that everybody was like, Luke Getsy, fire Luke Getsy. I don't think Luke Getsy called a bad game. I thought he called a decent game. You know what I mean? The flow of the offense was going really good. Now, do I wish he would have featured Devontae Adams a little bit more? I do. There was a lot of instances where Gardner Minshew did miss Devontae Adams wide open, especially i.e. I think the play before the 4th and 1, which I'm gonna get into, where he was wide open and he came on a curl back route and he missed it. But Minshew had a terrible turnover with that behind the back throw where he mishandled the ball. He had a pretty bad turnover where I think we were on a roll for that drive that I think we would have got a touchdown on that. And then obviously Zamir White had a terrible fumble that really killed momentum as well. I thought that on the defense side, I thought our defense looked amazing. We were swarming on all three levels of that defense. Spillane and Diablo looked amazing. They were swarming the ball. Diablo was doing great, and not Diablo, but Spillane was doing amazing on coverage. Our defensive line looked amazing on the inside, and that was without Malcolm Coots. And I'm gonna be honest, Tyree Wilson even had a decent game. He actually showed me something a little bit. Now, unfortunately, he has another injury. Good thing it's not that bad. So we were kind of thin on the defensive line. I thought our cornerbacks played really amazing. But look, man, I think the biggest thing to me is Antonio Pierce right now. That 4th and 1 call was atrocious of you punting the ball. We were on their side of the field. I think we were on their 43. It was a 4th and 1. Zamir White was gashing them the whole second half. And even Madison had a decent game. And we all know how Madison was with the Vikings last year. But he had a decent game. Jacoby Myers, like there was no play call where you couldn't have got 1 yard, my brother. Not 1 yard. I get it. There's 7 minutes left, and I get our defense was playing well. But at that moment in time, I get people are kind of saying he doesn't have any trust in our offense. But how can you build any kind of trust in your offense if you don't show your players that you have confidence in them to get 1 fucking yard? You preach ill intent. You preach that we ain't scared of nobody, that we're coming with the fierce, we're gonna run it down people's throat, and you can't go on a 4th and 1. So I was really disappointed in Antonio Pierce. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's the end of the world or anything like that. I'm not gonna say that, but this is a game that we should have won. And now we got to go to the Ravens on the road, and that's going to be really hard, especially them coming off a loss. So overall, man, I'm just really disappointed in the loss. But at the end of the day, I did see some good things that if we can just clean up some, I think we'll be okay. So and then Gardner Minshew wasn't that bad. So that's just kind of my overall thoughts. I would have gone a lot longer, but I'm trying to keep it cool. Speak.
No, I hear you, brother. Yeah, that 4th and 1, man. I saw that, and I was just like, man, what is Antonio Pierce doing?
Yeah.
Because what was it? Was like 17-16 at that time or something like that?
Yeah, it was 17-16. They were up 17-16. There were 7 minutes left, and then he punted the ball, and then that's when J.K. Dobbins had that big 50-yard, 60-yard run. Yeah. And I don't want to keep going, but man, it's just like what would be the difference if you would have went for it and we didn't get to stop? Like our defense was already running on fumes as it is. But if you would have got it, it would have been more plays for that defense to potentially stay off the field and catch their breath. Who knows what kind of points we could have got? You know, I mean, could have got the 3, went up 19-17, and our defense could have pinned their ears back and do whatever. But you can't preach all that. You kind of just killed everything you preached off of 1 play. So he's just going to have to build that up. And I could go deeper into it, but that's just kind of how I feel right now. So I'll leave it alone.
All right, man. Let's talk about Sunday night game. Trying to pull it up. Okay, you had the LA Rams at Detroit Lions. They end up losing 26-20, going to overtime. Jahmyr Gibbs is a beast, man. They need to continue to get this kid the ball, man. Like this should be no reason why he shouldn't. Now Montgomery looked good too, but they need to get this kid the ball. Montgomery had 17 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Jared Goff, 18-28, 217, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Jameson Williams looks like he's about to have a breakout season. He had 5 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Sam Laporta, 4 catches, 45. Amon St. Brown was non-existent in this game. But you know who was existent? Cooper Cup. Oh, reliable. Still out there making plays.
Mhm.
Matthew Stafford, 34 of 49, 317, one touchdown, one INT. He was throwing some. There was some balls he was throwing, man. I was like, what are you throwing it to? That
Yeah,
interception he threw in the end zone was just bad.
yeah.
He threw a couple of almost interceptions. I was like, what are you doing, man?
Mhm.
Kyron Williams. Look, I love Sean McVay, but like Andy Reid, he is allergic to running the football. I
Yes.
don't know what it is. He has an affinity for running back. He did the same thing to Cam Akers. The only running back he loved was Todd Gurley. Other than that,
Yeah.
he did not like running backs. Because Kyron Williams is a really good running back. He should be
Mhm.
featured more.
Yeah.
Um, Cooper Cup had 14 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. Like I said, Detroit they kind of got up a little early, but then Rams came back. It was a hard fought drag out fight. These two teams they had the same type of game pretty much in the playoffs last year. I don't think it didn't go into overtime, but still, it was pretty much ended the same way. Um, both teams look really good. Jared Verse looks like he's going to be a really good defensive player.
Mhm.
Um, the thing about the Rams, man, is just the injury report, man. Puka Nakua, his injury don't look good. Their left tackle might be out for the season. He looks like he's not good. Um, Matthew Stafford got banged up last night. Like
Mhm.
they just gotta stay healthy, man. If they
Yeah.
can't stay healthy, they ain't going to the playoffs, man. So hopefully they can get, hopefully they can stop, hopefully the injury bug doesn't hit them hard. Detroit looks like they're in rare form. They look like they're trying to get to that next level and get to a Super Bowl. They look really good. That's all I got for that game.
No, yeah, I think this was probably the most entertaining game out of all of them to me. Stafford looked really good. As I said, we got to see what's up with Puka Nakua, but as I said, I think Cooper Cup, 14 receptions, 110 yards, one TD. Man, he looked amazing. So hopefully, Nakua can come back. Hopefully, he's not out too long. I think with that combination, man, they could be really, really lethal. Especially, they're versatile in all type of ways: receiving, route running, blocking, all that catching capability, speed. It's amazing. Kyron Williams, he does need to get more love. I'm surprised Blake Corum didn't play more. I thought he might have get a little bit more touches, but maybe they're kind of easing him in a little bit. Stafford, look, man, with Stafford injuries, man, I feel bad for him because it's always like the unluckiest kind of way he gets hurt. You know what I mean? Somebody rolling up on his ankle, or him throwing and smashing his hand on a helmet and all that type of shit. So,
Him, the left tackle, and Puka Nakua all got hurt on the same play.
on the same play. So it's very unfortunate. I feel like this only really happens to the Rams or any kind of Matthew Stafford team. But hopefully they can figure that whole situation out with those injuries. Lines are the lines, man. Williams looked amazing. Seems like he's getting more comfortable. If he's able to establish anything with them, and they didn't even get him on Ross St. Brown the ball at all.
At
So
all.
if they can find a way to get both of those guys going, this team is going to be really dangerous with Sam Laporta, David Montgomery, Jamar Gibbs. Like, they got weapons across the days. That's not even including what's my man's name? The third receiver. What was it? Kickoff returner. He's
Nah,
really good too. What's his name?
I forgot. I know you
I
talking.
forgot his name, but I apologize to him. He had a couple returns that put him in some positive yardage. But overall, man, this game was really good, man. You kind of saw this. The way Dan Campbell coached is the way I wish Antonio Pierce would have coached yesterday. So shout out to Dan Campbell, shout out to Sean McVay. Rams will be okay. They show what they can be. I agree with you. They just got to stay healthy at the end of the day.
Khalif Raymond.
Khalif Raymond, yes, Khalif Raymond. So, yeah, man, I think both teams are playoff style teams. I think more so with the Rams, they just got to stay healthy, trying to get through it, figure out if we'll be able to, come back in the next couple weeks, man. So we'll see.
And then tonight we got the 49ers and the Jets.
Yeah. Hmm.
We know the 49ers, they had like a weird offseason with a couple of their players wanting to get paid. Brandon
Yeah.
Ayuk, Trent Williams, both of them end up getting paid in the final hour, like a week before, the first week.
Hmm.
The Jets, they have a weird offseason. Aaron Rodgers is being Aaron Rodgers out here, and you don't know what we don't know what you're gonna get with Aaron Rodgers. on a
Right.
day-to-day basis. You got your boy Hassan Reddick. He comes to the team, wants a new contract. They like, nah, you bring your ass to work.
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
Look like he's not playing tonight. They said he could lose. He loses $500,000 for not playing, and then another $500,000 for other stuff. So
Hmm.
my man's just giving away money. Um, so this is a weird game.
Hmm.
Um, but I think because uh, the Jets were just a little bit more or less quiet, I'm gonna go with the Jets tonight.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think Aaron Rodgers is gonna come out here on fire. I think that defense is gonna keep them in the game. It's gonna be a tight game. I ain't saying nobody's getting blown out, but I could see a 24-20 type game. Just it's gonna be defense, defense. Aaron Rodgers makes enough throws to win the game, and they get up out of there. So
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Jets too. So that just means that the 49ers are gonna win by 30 points. McCaffrey's gonna have almost 200 yards, and Brock Purdy about to be perfect. That's all that means, man. Because in my heart, it's like with both of these teams had a lot of noise going into the offseason. Aaron Rodgers, Hassan Reddick, Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams, so on and so forth. But I don't know, man. It's just the way Brock Purdy looked in the preseason. I wasn't really too impressed. Christian
Mhm.
McCaffrey with the calf injury, you just don't know. Hopefully
Yeah.
he's good. I don't want to see him get hurt. Obviously I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but obviously, I do have him in my fantasy, so I would love for him to stay healthy as long as possible. It's just with the Jets, man. I think there should be no reason why they're bad.
Yeah.
There's no reason why they should be bad. Like they have the running game. The offensive line has been developed better. Obviously, they added some pieces on that. You have Aaron Rodgers. If he can stay healthy, he's going to give you competent quarterback play. We saw what they did with Zach Wilson, who is nothing close to what Aaron Rodgers is. You got Garrett Wilson. You got Mike Williams. The tight end with Concord or whatever my man.
Tyler
Yeah,
Conklin.
yeah, him. I
Tyler
apologize if
Conklin.
I butchered your name, but he's not that bad. So offensively, you should be straight, and then that defense is amazing. And you don't even have Hassan Reddick. So imagine if for some graceful reason they can find a way to get Hassan Reddick back on that team, and in a positive manner. You can only imagine what that defense is going to look like with Hassan Reddick, man. He's been one of the best sackers in the last 5 years. So, and then you
Mhm.
got Sauce Gardner. You probably have the best nickel corner in the game. Safeties are good. So, that just
Quentin
makes me want.
Williams.
Yeah, that just makes me want to pick the Jets. I get it's a road game, but I would probably have more faith in Aaron Rodgers than I would Brock Purdy. But look, man, we can't sleep on but we saw what the Cowboys did with all the noise that they
Mhm.
had, and they looked
Yeah.
amazing. They
Yeah.
dominated.
That's
They
true.
dominated Browns. Now I'm not expecting Aaron Rodgers to play like Deshaun Watson. I'm not expecting that. If Aaron Rodgers plays like Deshaun Watson, then there's gonna be a lot of other questions going on tomorrow. So, but yeah, I got the Jets, man.
Yeah, me too. All right, man. Who is your best team? Hold on.
The best and West.
I'm the worst.
Tell my man ain't getting no sleep last night.
I did get some sleep, actually. We'll go teams first. Who is the best team you saw this week, and who is the best player you saw this week?
So the best player, out of the three, it came down to me between T.J. Watt, Jamison Williams, and Saquon. I'm gonna show Saquon some love. I'm gonna give it to Saquon, man. He had a really good game, especially on that field. It was pretty bad, so I'm gonna give it to Saquon. And the best team, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys, man. Cowboys looked really good. It came down between either the Bucks or the Cowboys for me, but I ended up signing with the Cowboys, man. I thought with all the outside noise that they had, especially on the road against a great, we assumed a great team in the Browns. The way they dominated them. I gotta give it to the Cowboys, man. So.
The best team this week, even though they faced a terrible team, I gotta show love to the New Orleans Saints, man. I
Yeah,
can't discount that. Derek Carr look really, I just
yeah, I
can't.
feel you. Yeah, I feel you.
I know they played a bad team, but hey, man,
Yeah,
they took care of business at home, smashed them. It wasn't close, man. It was
yeah,
29-0 before the
right,
half.
right.
So I got to show them some love. They look like the best. I'm not saying they are, but they look the best this week.
Mm-hmm.
Best player, damn, there's a few of them. I'd probably say Saquon Barkley.
Saquon, okay.
Yeah, Saquon looked really good this week, man. He looked really good. I was happy for him. He looked happy out there
Yeah,
too. So
he did. He did.
I'm gonna go with Saquon. Okay, this is easy to me. But who is the worst team? You only got two. You probably got like two, three choices. But who's the worst team and worst player this week?
So worst player I think is easily Daniel Jones. He looked really bad. Deshaun Watson was very very close. He was he
Yeah,
was he was coming up on there, but I'm gonna give it to Daniel Jones. And worst team, I gave it to the Browns, Doug. I really gave it to the Browns. I'm so disappointed in what I saw from that team. The high expectations that we all had for them coming into the season, and that performance that they put out at home of all places, that was pretty bad. So I gave it to the Browns.
yeah. My worst player, I'm gonna give it to Bryce Young, man. Like you got to show progression, man, and you
Yeah,
just look like it looks the same. It
yeah, it
looks the
does.
same, man.
It
I thought
does.
I saw you in preseason. I thought I had a little hope. You look decent in preseason, but
Hmm.
you look bad yesterday, brother.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You look really bad. And as far as the worst team, I'm gonna go with the New York Giants. They
yeah,
look terrible. They do not look good.
yeah.
It is. Hey, they might be picking the top
Over
two
under when Malik Neighbors requests the trade.
next week.
Yeah. Shit.
So, all right, man. Let's talk a little college football, man. Week
Yeah, let's do
two.
it real quick.
Uh, I'm just gonna go now. Let's see. So one, two, three, four. So four ranked teams lost this weekend.
Hmm.
But we'll start with Texas. Number three, Texas at number 10, Michigan. This game wasn't even close. They ended up beating them 31-12. This was a demolishing. You could just tell Michigan has lost so many players. Their best players, their DB, Will Johnson. He'll be
Hmm.
probably picked in the top 20
Yeah,
next year's draft. But unfortunately, they can't score. They ain't got
they
no
cannot.
offense. Their quarterback is not good. And so, yeah. Uh, what were your thoughts?
I agree with you. Texas looked really dominant. All three phases of the game, they looked really good. I feel bad for that Michigan defense, man. They only could do so much, bro. That offense looks terrible. That quarterback does not look really good. God bless him though. I know I've heard his story where he came back from leukemia from high school. He was a no star, but hopefully they're able to progress in the season. You know, they got a couple big games coming up. I think they got to play USC here pretty soon. So, and that's definitely not going to be an easy game. So, look, man, Texas is looking really good. They are.
You got number five Notre Dame playing North Illinois. End up
Mhm.
losing 16-14 to Northern
Yeah.
Illinois. Northern Illinois just ran it right down their throats, man.
Hmm.
They play bully ball.
Yeah.
That's what they did. And their defense was pretty good. They were swarming, hitting. So shout out to that coach Thomas Hammond, getting a win over that a ranked team like Notre Dame. I know we talk our trash about Notre Dame, but hey, they beat a ranked team. Marcus Freeman, man, it's not looking good for you, brother.
No.
Not looking good for you, brother. And we kind of should have saw this because the week before they kind of looked like this. They just end up pulling it out, but
Yeah.
not good losing to an unranked team like this.
No, they need to figure it out. That was a really bad loss at home. Doesn't really good for him. Shout out to Brown for Northern Illinois. He had 20 carries, 99 yards, two receptions, 126 yards in the TD. Best
Mhm.
player on the field. He looked amazing, dominated. Shout out to Northern Illinois, man. Huge win, huge upset. I think Notre Dame dropped to 18th on the new AP poll, so 18, 19, something like that. So they're not out of it as far as making the
Playoffs.
playoffs. They're not out of it. They have some big games coming up later on in the year. Obviously, their biggest game I think they got left on their schedule is probably USC at the end of the year. So
They're gonna get smoked.
yeah, I think that's in LA too. So
It's over. It's
hey
over.
man, and then honestly, the play calling was pretty bad, man. They got to stop
Yeah.
relying on Riley Leonard and his arm. They got to run the ball a little bit more. I think that running
Yeah.
back is not. I think that running back is really good. I think they need to give
Mhm.
him more touches and they kind of play off a play action pass with Notre Dame. They just
Yeah.
got to get that offense in check. Their defense wasn't bad, you know.
Yeah.
You would hope that they could create a little bit more turnovers against a Northern Illinois style team, but unfortunately, it doesn't ball just doesn't bounce their way. But they're not out of it yet.
Number 7 Oregon ended up beating Boise State 37-34. It was a
Yeah,
shootout. Uh, Boise State was winning most of this game, and then they end up pulling it out at the end
yeah.
with a field goal.
Hmm.
But are you concerned for Oregon?
Last week I was not. This week I am. I'm a little bit more concerned, man. The percentages have gone up. I expected them to do. I said it last week. I told you I expected them to dominate against Boise State. I get Boise State had a great record against Oregon at the time, but um, I don't know what's going on with this Oregon team. They have too much talent for them to be playing like this, unless Boise State is just really, really good and we don't know about it yet. But
That running back,
Even Idaho, and these were both at home. It wasn't like they were on the road; they were all at home. So it's not looking good, man. I know they got that big game against Ohio State coming up, and the way Ohio State looking, it looked like Oregon might get dog walked. So
mud stone.
yeah, so they need to figure out their stuff real quick.
Number 14 Tennessee beat 24th ranked NC State 51-16. Tennessee, they just really good. That quarterback,
That quarterback is
man,
amazing.
that
Quarterback's
quarterback,
nice,
dude,
boy.
he's really nice, man. Like I said last week, they just keep finding these black quarterbacks with these arms, man. They just be
He's Samoan though.
slinging.
He's Samoan, ain't he? Samoan, right?
Is he Samoan? I thought he's
He's
black.
Samoan. Yeah, he's Samoan. Yeah, he's Samoan.
Whatever he is, he's slinging the football down the field. So shout
Yeah,
out to him, man.
that team is nice. That quarterback, that quarterback is nice. I know they have I think Tennessee. They have a big game coming up. I don't know if it's next week or the week coming up, but I look forward to watching this team, and this is coming from a Gators fan. And I know we probably ain't gonna talk about this, but shout out to my Gators. Shout out to DJ Lagway. He should be the starting quarterback. Mertz should sit his ass down, transfer, go to another team. You don't need to play. DJ Lagway is the future of Florida. Get rid of the coach, and we're good.
Lagway had a good game.
Amazing game. Amazing game. Yeah, over 400 yards passing.
I told you, man. I told you I should have started that young man.
Got a big game against, I think, Texas A&M this week.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Illinois beats number 22 ranked Kansas 23-17. Now Illinois has kind of had Kansas number 2. Jalen Daniels did not look good in that game at all.
No, he did not.
Devin Neal is their best player. The running back, he's their best player. Hopefully, I don't know, the injuries have kind of derailed him, but he did not look good at all. Had some costly turnovers, and it just wasn't good, man. But hey, shout out to Illinois, man. They end up getting the dub.
Chris, say it with me, dog. UNLV about the dog walk Kansas. UNLV about the dog walk.
I told Clarence.
I'm trying to tell y'all, dog. UNLV about the dog walk Kansas. I'm trying to tell y'all, Sluka Doncic coming for that neck, coming from them Jayhawks, boy. At your house too. At your house too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling y'all.
Yep.
Shout out to Illinois though for the dub.
Yeah. Syracuse end up beating number 23 ranked Georgia Tech 31-28. I didn't watch this game, but
I'm not surprised, man. Syracuse is really good at home.
Yeah, they got some guys over there. So, UNLV, speaking of which, beat UTEP 72-14. Randy White the third out here balling 111 yards,
5 receptions, 111, 3 TDs.
Yeah,
shout out to Greg Burrell too, 11 carries, 101, 1 TD.
Yeah, we coming, man. You know what I'm saying? UNLV is here to stay, man. We might be in the tournament. You know what I'm saying? Might be ranked in the tournament. Don't be surprised.
I ain't gonna lie. There. I'm so excited to watch that game on Friday. So excited to watch that game. Friday, 4 p.m. our time, Vegas time. UNLV at Kansas. So I'm trying to tell y'all, UNLV. Hey, shout out to UNLV. I will be at a game this year. Most likely Syracuse.
And of course, last but not least, Colorado loses to Nebraska. Shout out to Tyra. 28-10. Colorado is the same team they were last year. Maybe even worse. They might be worse.
I'm really disappointed in that offensive line.
Terrible.
I'm really disappointed in that offensive line. They got one of the top recruits to commit to them. Then he kind of decommitted and then recommitted. It was kind of weird with his commit. Obviously, Shedeur didn't play too great. Obviously, he didn't have a lot of time. But that pick when he was in his own end zone was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. I think he was just kind of rushed in his head. Obviously, the emotions of Travis Hunter. You see the emotions of Travis Hunter. You see the emotions of Shador. You see the clip of Shador. He kind of called out his offensive line and stuff like that a little bit. They got a lot to figure out, man. They got to do a lot of soul searching on this team. I get Deion Sanders. He tries, man. I get a lot of people are gonna, dogpile on him. A lot of people want to see him not succeed. Me and you both will always want Deion to succeed. We want his sons to succeed. Shout out to Shiloh. I know you haven't been playing as well, but I think you broke your arm in the game. So speed up, young man. I hope you get healthy and all that. But it's not going to get easy, man. They got Colorado State coming, and we all know that game last year was pretty intense. I guess this year they're in Colorado State, so that's going to be a crazy scene for them on Saturday. So a lot of soul searching, man, for this team, man. I'm disappointed. I expected better. And then honestly, Dylan Raiola, he looked okay. He didn't have like a great game, you know what I mean. I think all the pieces around him did really good. I just think Colorado just looked that bad. I do not expect Nebraska to beat Ohio State. Respect to Tyra, but they're not beating Ohio State. They're not. Dylan Raiola is still a young quarterback. He still has a lot to learn. I get he's trying to mimic Patrick Mahomes. He does some things well, but there are some things he needs to do better at.
Hey, man.
I'm tired of it though, but
it's on some single white female stuff now, man.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
A man doing the beginning the game,
hyping, jumping. Yeah,
he doing it. I get it. That's your idol, and I appreciate it, man. But be your own person, man.
Tyra, if Tyra listens to this, and she wants to bet the Ohio State game, I would take that bet. I would easily take that bet.
And I ain't bet you in this game either.
She looking for you, dog. She gonna be looking for your ass for sure.
I'm surprised she ain't trying to find me yesterday. But yeah, I ain't bet her. But... All right, man, let's move to NBA, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Jamal Murray gets a new contract. 4 years, $208 million max. Contract extension. Mm-hmm. He earns $36 million this coming season, bumped to $46.4 in 2025-2026, $51.1 million following year, 53, blah 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 blah. What are your thoughts on this contract, sir? You are the basketball correspondent.
Yeah, well, number one, congratulations to Jamal Murray on the contract. I said I would never be mad at him at a brother getting his money, so congratulations on that. I am a little worried about this team though. Them losing Contavious Caldwell-Pope and Bruce Bowen. You have all the rumblings with Malone not seeing eye to eye with the front office. Jokic, we don't know how much longer he's going to play. He doesn't seem like he's really too into playing NBA basketball as of late. He seems more inspired to play international basketball than he does in the NBA. Look, man, I think Jokic will always be Jokic. He will always be a dominant player, but I think this team will no longer be dominant. Jamal Murray has some injury issues that he does have. He looked horrendous in the international game. He doesn't look as fast, as explosive as he used to. He's a little bit slower, which could be a little bit of a problem for him in the NBA. But maybe it was just him in a sluggish mode with the international game. We'll see as the season comes, but they're gonna need a big season for Jamal Murray for them to have the same kind of impact as they have been the last couple years. I've been saying Jamal Murray turns into the GOAT when he plays the Lakers. Anybody else, he's just a regular Jamal Murray. So we'll see what's up, man. But congratulations to Jamal Murray and his contract.
Yeah, man. He's one of the big players on that team, one of the leaders on that squad. So, hey man, shout out to him for getting that money, man.
Absolutely.
NBA players, they be getting the bag.
Right. If he wants to donate to the podcast, we'll make a PayPal right now and figure out the transaction.
Hey man. Any NBA player wants to. NFL, NBA, whatever you get. You got money.
Anybody. You know what I mean? CEO of some, Nike, somebody, shout out.
Yeah, man. So we just got word, man.
Yes, sir.
Kendrick Lamar is going to be the halftime Super Bowl performer. He gets to sing "Not Like Us" in front of billions and millions of people.
Yeah.
And Drake has to watch it.
Yeah.
Now there's outrage. People saying that Lil Wayne should be the performer. And I never knew that there was a requirement for the hometown person to be the Super Bowl performer. But whatever. What are your thoughts on Kendrick Lamar getting this spot, sir?
I was pleasantly surprised when I saw the video of him announcing this. I had no idea this was going to be. Um, I thought they were going to go away from the hip hop thing because I figured there was like too much hip hop as of late with the Super Bowl performances. I figured it'd been a Taylor Swift thing, or maybe one of these country big time country music artists that have been popping off. But man, shout out to Kendrick Lamar, man. He's just been one step ahead of Drake this whole time. You know what I mean? Big as the what? Kendrick is bigger than you right now at this particular time. That is a
No
fact.
round twos.
Drake has never did a Super Bowl. Kendrick has done two now. You know what I mean? And this is his first feature. So I think it's easy for us to decipher when the album's coming out. I think that album's coming out around Super Bowl week. We know that. I'm sure we'll get a single here probably in December, maybe January, I would assume. Maybe that song that was on the on the Not Like Us video. Hopefully it's that one, or whatever else it is. But look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. All this fake hate of Kendrick Lamar getting this and that Lil Wayne should be the performer of the New Orleans show. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I love Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is one of the greatest of all time. But New Orleans has had so many Super Bowls, and I have not heard one peep about y'all complaining about Lil Wayne being on the Super Bowl, performing for the Super Bowl, because y'all thought there was no chance in hell the NFL would put Lil Wayne on the Super Bowl. And look, Lil Wayne hasn't really done anything as of late that warrants him to be on the Super Bowl stage. He's not the number one artist in the world right now. It's Kendrick Lamar. As far as hip hop, it's Kendrick Lamar, especially after everything that happened with Drake. He doesn't have anything new coming out. I know he's working on the Carter 6, 7 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think people need to appreciate Kendrick Lamar for getting this opportunity. I think it's going to be a great show. I think if Kendrick Lamar will be even cool enough to show Lil Wayne some love and try to bring him on stage and do something like that. But I think the performance is going to be amazing. I cannot wait. I'm very curious to see if he is going to do Not Like Us. I would assume he would. It'll be obviously a lot cleaner version than what he would originally do. I'm sure Drake is doing everything in his power for that not to happen. I'm sure there's going to be some legality or something. There's going to be some OVO papers sent in the mail to the NFL and to PG Lang and TD and whoever else is involved in Apple and whoever else is involved in this. But shout out to Kendrick, man. I'm super excited to see this. And no round twos, Drake. It's over. It's a wrap. He outsmarted you, and now he's out labeling you. And it's a crazy thing, man. I never thought this day would come, honestly. So, but chill with the fake outrage.
Do you think that this is pettiness from Jay-Z?
Do I think it's pettiness from Jay-Z? I don't think so, man. Come on, man. Like, honestly, the biggest hip hop artist is Kendrick Lamar right now. He has the most excitement around him. He has the biggest song in the world right now. It was perfectly played. I get the whole Jay-Z and Drake, issues, I guess, in a sense. But look, man, Jay-Z is a businessman at the end of the day. I don't really think he's really tripping too hard. Lil Wayne hasn't really done anything relevant the last year. So I think it was an easy decision. As far as if you're going to go the hip hop route, I think it's the easiest decision and the clear cut decision. I don't even know who would be second. And it just makes me curious. Why hasn't Drake ever gotten the opportunity to do a Super Bowl? So that's he was one of the biggest artists that we've had in the last.
Maybe he didn't want to do it.
Why wouldn't you want to do it? It's the biggest platform. It's the biggest platform in the world. It gets to over 200 million views.
I don't know. People be trying to downplay the Super Bowl, like, "Oh, you too big for the Super Bowl."
You can never. Beyonce wasn't too big for the Super Bowl.
Michael Jackson
wasn't too big for the Super Bowl. Prince wasn't too big for the Super Bowl. Whitney Houston, I know she didn't have a halftime show, but she wasn't too big for the Super Bowl. Sing the halftime and all that. Dr. Dre, Usher, like Alicia Keys and Bruno Mars. These are some of the greatest talents of all time. And if Drake really believes that, then that really even further proves what Kendrick was trying to say in just the way he kind of holds himself in regard. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, It's a serious question why Drake has never been given the opportunity, because I think Drake would be the perfect artist to fit the Super Bowl mold in the halftime show. So it's kind of curious. It also makes me really sad that the greatest halftime performance of all time that we will never get will be Kanye West, and that we will never see that. That would have been the greatest halftime performance of all time. Everybody knows it, and we will never see it. So.
All right, man. Let's do our bet US surefire picks.
All right, man. You want to go first or me?
I'll go. I got the Jets money line, and I got the under tonight, under 43.
Okay. I got the Jets +4. I'm gonna take the Lynx money line and Dodgers money line.
If you go to our YouTube page or X page, all of our social media, you'll find the link to the Bet US site. Click on it. You go there, sign up, deposit a minimum of $100. Put in the promo code JOIN125 and you get 3 risk-free bets. What does that mean, Chris? That means that you could bet 3 times and you won't lose your money. That's beautiful. So go ahead, sign up for Bet USA, and make you some money over there, man. Yeah. Shout out to those people over there.
Shout out.
All right, man. Who is your top 5 college teams?
So my top 5 college teams so far, I got number 1 Georgia. I think Georgia has looked amazing. I know they haven't really played anybody, but they played first week. Who they play first week? Clemson, yeah. Well, Clemson's not that good, but they dominated. Number 2, I got Texas. I think they've looked really explosive. I think they could be 1B to Georgia. I think they play this year, so I'm excited to see that game. Number 3, Ohio State. The freshman receiver, golly, that boy is nasty, man. He's gonna be truth. Number 4, I got USC. I think USC has been really, really impressive. That quarterback looks really good. That defense has been really impressive. Two weeks in a row, they've looked really dominant. So, and then number 5, I got Tennessee. I'm really impressed by what I've seen, especially against North Carolina State. And then really close behind them, I have Ole Miss and Missouri. Them two can be, they can be in top 5 real easy too. But that's my top
5. Number 1, I got Georgia. Like you, they just look too good. Number 2, I got Ohio State. They dominate. Number 3, I got Texas. Mm-hmm. They just dominated Michigan. Number 4, I'm gonna roll with my Mizzou Tigers. They just look like they on another level. Mm-hmm. And then number 5, this was a tough one for me, but I'm gonna go Ole Miss.
Okay. Ole Miss. I'm not mad. Only reason I didn't have them in my top 5 is because USC and Tennessee have played better opponents. Yeah. But we'll see. It will come. Ole Miss and Missouri play some better opponents.
But Alabama, y'all look like y'all was about to lose to South Florida the other day.
Yeah, they came out though. Not too bad.
Yeah. All right, man. Overreaction Monday,
man. Yeah, man. So my first one I have is that I think Brian Dable will be fired by week 4. Overreaction. It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly.
I would put more stock in Daniel Jones losing his job before he loses his real job.
Okay. I have another one. I have where's my other one at? I think the Bengals will be I think the Bengals will have a top pick. I think they'll be a top 7 pick in this year's upcoming drafts.
Wow, you think they're gonna be that bad?
I think so. I really do. I'm not impressed by the defensive line. I'm just not impressed, man. I'm really not impressed.
Look, you get no argument from me. Yeah.
I think so. Another one. I only had like a couple. Um, let's see. Mm,
Baker Mayfield would be a MVP candidate.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I can honestly attest to that. Um, I don't think this is an overreaction, but I think Jameis Winston will be the starter before week 7 for the Browns.
Yeah. Once again, you get no argument. You already heard my soliloquy. It's over for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, that's all. That's all I got. That's all I got this week.
All right, for
Keep
sure.
it small.
All right, man. Who are your flowers of the week?
So my flowers of the week, I got to give it to Thomas Hammock of the NIU head coach. Big win against Notre Dame on the road. You saw the emotions that he had. He used to play for that school that he coaches now. So I got to give him his flowers, man. Congratulations to him and his team, man, for a huge win and great coaching job.
That's crazy because that was my flowers too.
All right, well, there you
Thomas
go.
Hammond. But I'm gonna get a little deeper into his story a little bit. Bear with me a little bit.
Please do.
Thomas Hammond, he was an alumni of Northern Illinois. He was actually a really good running back for them. Ran over 2,432 yards. His sophomore and junior year had over 1,000 yards. His senior year, he came out the first game running 172 yards and a couple touchdowns. And then after that game, he ended up feeling like really weird. He had shortness of breath and chest pains. We had to retire. He had to retire from football because of a heart condition. So he ended up going into coaching. He coached in Wisconsin as a running back coach, where Garrett Wolf had 1,580 yards that season. He coached in Minnesota. He went back to Wisconsin and he coached Monty Ball, James White, and Melvin Gordon when they were there. And in 2014, he coached with the Baltimore Ravens. And in 2019, he ultimately got this job. So shout out to Thomas Hammond, man. Hey, dog. And he won the MAC a few times. So,
Yeah.
man is doing his thing over there. Hopefully, this leads to possibly bigger coaching jobs. Maybe he gets a bigger spot somewhere. Florida, maybe. You never know.
Mhm.
You know. So, shout out to Thomas. He gets flowers.
Yeah.
All right, man. Who's get your hell no?
So first I want to give out one more flower.
Okay.
We got breaking news. James Earl Jones unfortunately has passed away. So I want to give flowers to him. He played the voice of Darth Vader. He played the father of Eddie Murphy and Coming to
King
America.
Joffrey Joseph
So he played a lot of integral parts. That voice will be synonymous.
Mufasa.
He played, yeah, Mufasa. That voice will always be internalized and forever, man. So prayers out to him, prayers out to his family, man. Flowers to him. But my hell nah, I'm gonna give my hell nah. I don't know if you have any thoughts. You have any thoughts on James Earl Jones?
You perfectly said it right, man.
As far as my hell nah goes, I think this is really easy. Mine goes to the Miami-Dade PD for what they did with Tyreek Hill. I think they could have handled that situation a whole lot better, especially for a minor traffic violation, speeding or what. You know what I mean? There's a better way to handle that. Some of the video that has come out was pretty disturbing how they handled that. And you heard Tyreek Hill kind of talk about that. Shout out to Calais Campbell and his other teammates that supported him when he was going through that kind of traumatizing event. I'm sure as us as black men have experienced some form of I wouldn't say police brutality, but some negligations on the police's part. I get all police are not bad police, but there are bad apples in a situation that can make things worse. So they definitely are going to get my hell nah for this week.
I'm double downing on that, man, because they get my hell on too, man. Could you imagine if Tyreek Hill wasn't the wide receiver of the Miami Dolphins, how worse that probably would have went for him?
Absolutely.
We might be talking about Tyreek Hill unfortunately not being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the police officers wanted to go overboard, especially
Yeah.
the one in particular, one that obviously was trying to make his name and his come up of arresting Tyreek Hill.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man, this is ridiculous, man. You know, this type of stuff's got to stop. You
Yep.
know, even if he was speeding, you give him his traffic ticket and
And
you
move on.
move the hell on.
Move on.
All this pulling him out the car and detaining him and all this stuff. There's nothing Tyreek Hill said to you that made you pull him out the car.
No, no, there's nothing.
So you definitely get the hell no of the week, sir.
Hmm.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. Bye. You get your goddamn ugly ass on. Oh my God.
All right. I want to give a shout out to our affiliate partners at Magnet Sports Drink. Join the Magnet movement. Whether you're training, competing, or simply staying alive, Magnet is your go to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now or on our direct link on any of our social media platforms. Also, you can use the promo code Lamar and get $5 off your purchase. Get Magnet, push your limits, feel your passion. Whatever streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast, the Chris Lamar podcast is available, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, whatever you listen to your podcast on, Chris Lamar podcast is there. You could also, if you're first time watch on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you could jump in the live, you can jump in these comments, and you could give your opinion on these topics that we give out. You want to, give your opinion on your NFL team or your college football team or whatever team you got, jump in the comments, man, and plead your case. Uh, yeah, man. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, man, so you can listen to us.
Sorry to break. I've got another breaking news situation. Your boy Deshaun Watson did it again.
He
He's
did
being
what?
sued for an accused sexual assault and battery while on a date in October of 2020. Um, it's possible that he can get suspended again for personal conduct to the league. So, what are your initial thoughts on that?
Let it go, Deshaun. Go ahead and retire, man. It's over. It's over. It's over, man. Jameis Winston. Hey, man, put Jameis Winston on your bench for fantasy, man.
Yeah, for real, it's coming.
Yeah. Whatever social media platform you use, whether it be Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, whatever you use to do your social media on, the Crystal and Mall podcast is on there. You go ahead and follow us at Crystal and Mall. We will follow you back. With two brothers from Vegas who just like to talk sports, music, and movies. So go ahead and, holler at us, man. Follow us. If you got a critique or feedback, or if you have a question or a topic that you want us to bring up on the show, you can hit us up via DM, mentions, or our email, and hit us up, man. And if we like it, we will bring you your question or topic on the show. We will shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and hit us up, man.
Yeah.
All right, good people. Until next time, we are
in the live.